Micheal Burry, however, has recently returned to the limelight after sending a shocking tweet. It seems that Christian Bale wore Micheal Burry's clothing in The Big Short, which raises some interesting questions. Micheal Burry was dressed by whom? I do not even imagine Micheal Burry is referring to his stature, but he recently tweeted, "You have no idea how short I am." To be honest, this is highly important information because it coincides nicely with the publication of his 13F filing, which makes this information publicly available. In this episode, we'll look at Micheal Burry's recent investment activities as well as delve a little further into his most recent Twitter post to determine what he actually means. Hey guys, welcome to Investor Facts, where you may learn about investing and how to make the best financial decisions for your life. Make sure you click the subscribe button and enable the notification bell if you haven't already. Share, like, and comment. In reality, Micheal Burry, one of the most successful investors of our time, became rich by making bets against the stock market. Starting with Micheal Burry's 13F filing, then, I simply want to quickly inform you of Micheal Burry's most recent buys and sells for the third quarter of 2022. Burry has therefore proven to be a very value-minded investor, much like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and Lee Lu. He is undoubtedly a valued investor, but what actually sets him apart from other investors is that he doesn't always purchase and hold. He likes to dance, as you are aware. He will be in one quarter and out of the next. But what might you observe through time if you pay close attention is that there are certain stocks that do appear, as you may understand, very frequently. If you look at this most recent 13F activity, for instance, you'll see that he added to Geo Group and then purchased CoreCivics, Aerojet Rocketdyne, Charter Communications, and Liberty Lilac Group C. However, if you examine his activity over time, you'll notice that Geo Group, and CoreCivics appears fairly frequently, despite the fact that he enjoys chopping and changing from quarter to quarter. As a result, this leads to believe that Micheal Burry actually has a long-term thesis for these companies, but that he prefers to buy and sell based on price volatility rather than simply buy and hold like other value investors would. Having stated that, let's quickly review these serial offenders, beginning with the largest position, which is Geo Group. To be completely honest, I don't pay much attention to the shares of Geo Group. I've been reading books on seeking alpha for the past few days to catch up on the stock, and as I was doing so, I came across this excellent essay by Ben Clarence. This remarks, "Successful deep value investing needs investors to grow comfortable digging into the mud in order to seek other diamonds." I believe it precisely captures what Burry is thinking with Geo Group. For those who don't know, Geo Group is the second largest private prison business in the world, and that is precisely what the company is about. It's not glamorous, but it ranks right up there with things like funeral homes, sewage treatment facilities, and garbage collection. Ben further adds that Geo Group has recently been accumulating a long-term debt through bond issuances, which has a big negative impact on their balance sheet. In general, they develop gradually over time. Regarding Biden's desire to move away from private prisons, there is another really intriguing factor to consider: how would doing so improve private jail performance? So I will elaborate a little on that later. Finally, the cost is the factor in which I believe Micheal Burry is most interested. If you take a look at their most recent 3 quarters of earnings and combine that with their projected $30 million for the fourth quarter of 2022, you'll get a total of $160.2 million. Presently, Geo Group has a market cap of $1.26 billion, as you can see if you switch to the summary. Next up on the list is a noteworthy stock. It's CoreCivics, yet another uninspiring bargain stock. Then what is it? It's a group of companies that deal with retail, the most known of which is QVC, which airs those incredibly dull info commercials that try to get grandmothers to purchase absurd goods made in Chinese sweatshops. I'm sure you can guess which CNBC talking head would like to talk about Tesla or Google instead. Although, in essence, this line of work simply fluctuates in response to consumer sentiment. Both corporate and the consumer are currently in pain. You know, their free cash flow is suffering, and their revenues, operating income, and net income are declining. Corporate still reaches 200 million homes worldwide. Notwithstanding these dismal outcomes and a 75% decline in stock price over the past year, I believe Burry is speculating a little bit by saying that the price is reasonable should the economy improve over the next 2 years. What does this actually mean? The United States Marshals, as well as U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement, must move these prisoners from city jails and into other facilities. In order to break their cooperation with CoreCivics, they must either construct new jails or, alternatively, buy out CoreCivics, purchase the prison from them, and manage them independently. However, CoreCivics is aware of this. However, what's encouraging for shareholders is that even if the government got serious about buying out CoreCivics prisons, we believe our renewal rate on existing contracts remain high due to the variety of reasons, including the age of inmates and constrained supply of available beds within the U.S. correctional system. It appears that fundamental civics will force them to make restitution. For instance, a 1978-bed correctional facility was one of the prisons they sold in Q2. They only had a book value of roughly $80 million, but they sold it for $130 million. However, the sale of this prison would effectively value CoreCivics' whole portfolio at over $4 billion, or $66,000 per bed. The company currently has a market cap of $2.8 billion, which is kind of absurd. What's fascinating is that I believe management is aware of this as well, because they have recently engaged in significant share purchases, which may be a sign that their stock is undervalued. Like Geo Group, I believe Burry sees future value in this and wants a piece of the action. Thus, Burry's present portfolio contains 3 remarkable stocks. But there is unquestionably a significant caveat that requires discussion. Micheal Burry truly doesn't have that much invested in these companies, as you well know. His overall portfolio in the US was just $41 million in Q3. But if we examine the history of his 13F filings, we can see that the portfolio was $154 million in Q3 2020, and it's unclear whether he was even completely invested at that time. Therefore, even if we assure that Burry has only $154 million to his name, which I don't believe the case, we may still proceed. Up to this point, he has only invested $26 of his money in the market. Therefore, according to my theory, this tweet is likely response to the news, and he is merely telling us that perhaps this isn't the great conclusion and that he is unquestionably still negative on the market. You have no idea how briefly I'm saying that this market mood has most likely not changed since he was born. Although the 13F filing indicates an investor's portfolio, they are 45 days late. Keep in mind that this is a constant. They do not display short positions. So Burry may, for all we hear, have short positions that are 3 times as large as his investment portfolio. We simply do not know, which is, in my opinion, lends this tweet some further weight and helps provide us with some greater insight into what Micheal Burry is actually doing within the market at this time. Alright friends, that ought to prepare us for this episode. Thanks for watching the entire clip. If you like it, kindly let us know by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Also, don't forget to enable the notification bell so you can be the first to know when we post a new video. In the following video, I'll see you. Goodbye.